Welcome into the land of the beaches. This is Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia for some Ryco performance. Friday night NiS top split. I'm Austin Edstrom standing alongside Sheldon Atkins, and Austin Derbyshire is behind the production booth, back from his little hiatus from earlier this week. Excuse me. But Sheldon, what do you think we're going to see from Atlanta tonight? Obviously, a little bit of drafty car, crazy super speedway style of racing, and probably the most hectic that we see on the schedule. A lot more crazy than Talladega and Daytona.
Man, I'm expecting nose to tail chaos, side by side, tight, close quarters racing, and sprinkle in a little bit of handling issues as we get later into the run, because they didn't do anything to change the diameter of the corners. Man, they just pumped a little bit of...
That is Richmond.
So here we are. It's a lot flatter than I remembered, and hang on, I think I've been there.
I couldn't understand a lick of what you were saying, Sheldon, but now we're going down to Atlanta. As soon as I saw that out there, I knew we were going to the wrong track. But here we are. This is actually Atlanta Motor Speedway. 1.5 mile, just reconfigured into the super speedway we know it as today. Obviously, this is a little older, I believe, of the Atlanta Motor Speedway. So you see the old asphalt down, but it's going to look a little bit different here tonight.
Yeah, like I said, I'm expecting close quarters racing, a lot of aggression, nose to tail, and a bit of handling sprinkled in once you get later into this tire set. This track a lot more skittish than Daytona or Talladega because the radius of the corners is still the same as they used to be before the repave. So I'm looking for chaos.
Sheldon, what are your keys to the race for tonight from Atlanta?
Well, handful. Most important that I can think of right now off the top of my head is you got to try to lead every lap. Once you get suckered in the pack, this is a very narrow groove on this track. It's skinnier than Daytona and Talladega. Once you get cycled to the back, it's going to be so hard to make it 3 wide and make it work without getting yourself absolutely destroyed. You're going to want to be up there at the front. And while you're up there, you're going to pretty much block like you're Brett Griffin. You want to throw huge moves on people. You see the run on the outside, try to get up there, try to take that run from them, get back down to the bottom. You're going to see a lot of Joey Logano style blocks. Question is it going to be the good Logano blocks or is it going to be the bad ones? And then third, the most important thing, every time we come here to any of these super speedways, don't die. A lot of laps and a lot of opportunities to tear up a lot of cars. So try to keep every corner on that thing.
Sounds simple enough, but whenever you're out here with 35 other guys all cramped into a pretty close space, it's a little bit more difficult than what we make it sound like. But moving into the broadcast picks here tonight, first myself, I'm picking Matt Hollabaugh, the 19 car tonight. A little bit of a wild card, so I think we're going to be able to get some different guys up to the front than what we normally see, and Hollabaugh's the guy that always keeps that machine clean. So I think he's going to come away with the victory tonight.
Hollabaugh, solid pick. I got to go with, man, we're talking about aggression here and the keys of the race. I got to go with somebody that's aggressive every chance he gets out there on the track. I go with Newman.
And it looks like our producer, Austin Derbyshire, is picking the 21 of Kagan Fleckenstein to bring home the victory tonight. Haven't seen Mr. Fleckenstein anytime recently here, so interesting pick from Darby. Definitely haven't seen him on the Ryco Performance top split action that we do on Monday and Friday. So a little bit of a different pick from our producer.
Man, that's a cool name. That sounds like a guitar amp or something.
Do you think we can amp up the crowd here tonight with a little bit of craziness in the booth?
I think we can. I mean, it is Friday night.
Too. And it is the A car. It's a little bit better than the Xfinity cars race around here, but it looks like the field is starting to grid up. So we're going to go ahead and jump through our starting lineup here tonight from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Jacob Schneider up on the pole. Chad Gunningsman starting on his outside in second, about 200ths behind. Garrett Maines in third. Roger Pierce on his outside in fourth. Brad Newman lines up in the 5th place spot with Brad Wright in 6th. Jose Acosta and Tommy Gossett are on row number 4 with Matt Hollabaugh and Jordan Booth lining up row number 5.
11th place, we've got Joseph Tucker, followed by the 12 machine of John Whitendorf. 13th is going to be Justin Malillo with Miller Bonds in 14th. 15th is going to be Ryan Naraki with James Houghton in 16th. 17th is going to be Nicholas Roman, followed by Joseph Squared in 18th. 19th, we're going to have Pedro Palladino, and running at your top 20 is going to be Brandon Evans.
Newman Yao lining up in 21st with Tanner Love on his outside in 22nd. Junso Lim and Maggie McGuire back in 23rd and 24th with Kagan Fleckenstein lining up in 25th and Wyatt Gray on his outside in 26th. Indy Casey in 27th. Nick Olson 28th. Lucas Mello is going to be starting in the 29th place spot with Matt Cox in 30th.
31st, we're going to have Nicholas Padovich with Marcelo Quizetta in 32nd. 33rd is going to be AJ Stevens with Vincent Crowe in 34th. 35th is going to be James Hautzer. He's going to be followed by Sean Anderson rounding out your field in 36th.
That's the full 36-car rundown here tonight, as just about everybody is gridded up. A little bit of time left, about 5 seconds for the last couple of stragglers to get gridded up before we get rolling here from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Like we said, going to be a little bit crazy. Oh, it looks like the Ryco cars are changing it up on us again tonight. Those are a little bit different than what we saw last week, right?
Yeah, they switched Toyota, I believe, Friday.
No,
I remember seeing them in the NiS.
You're right. They were there for the NiS race on Friday night of last week. Looks like Garrett Main's starting in his box. So a little strange to see Garrett Main's not want to start with the rest of the pack, but it is Atlanta. 130 laps around here. Going to be a long race. You got to keep that thing clean. Might as well start at the back and maybe just protect it for the first little while.
Yeah, smart move from Garrett, because it can get really chaotic really fast here. And the last thing you want to do is get caught up in a wreck early here.
Knowing Garrett, though, I don't think he's the type of guy to sit back, to be honest with you. I feel like he's giving himself a little bit of a challenge. I think he might be trying to come through the field. I don't know if that's a saving my stuff move or I'm going to go out there and prove I'm better than everybody kind of move.
We'll find out really quick. Hopefully going through the pack, it's not going to get him torn up too quick.
We'll have to wait and see. Super Speedways are always a great equalizer. Going to be tough at Atlanta to get a hold of the lead and then keep it. But those Ryco cars do have a good amount of numbers. Always a big deal at Super Speedway style of racing, and here at Atlanta, it's no exception. This place, you need a couple friends. If you can get 2 or 3 of you lined up on the outside row and really get to pushing good, you can really stave off a lot of hungry challengers behind you. But coming down to the line for the first time tonight, Jacob Schneider, Chad Gunningsman on the front row. The green flag is flying, and we're racing from the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Such a good launch for the inside line. Fleckenstein pulling out with Newman to a decent lead. That's Fleckenstein. Hang on. Is it?
Well, we don't know his paint. We don't know his paint yet, so we might have to give ourselves a couple laps on that. But Jacob Schneider still leading the way. Brad Newman not looking to make a move. Doesn't really have a huge push. Doesn't have any type of run to contend for the race lead. And on the outside, Chad running a good bit wider through 3 than Roger Pierce behind him. A couple Ryco machines light up in the outside row. Right behind Chad, looking to make a move on the outside. Roger Pierce thinking better of it. Just ducks back in on that outside row.
Still trying on that outside line, though, that 97 machine of Chad Gunningsman. Doesn't really have a hole. I'm pretty sure that, what he wants to do right now is find a hole to cycle down to the bottom, get out there, on the inside, avoid being stuck up there on the outside, because it is very sketchy up there, especially catching bumps from the guy behind you. But nowhere for him to go at the moment, and that line not really going with him either at the same time.
Jacob Schneider, Brad Newman, Jose Acosta, Matt Hollabaugh, your top 4 at the line right there. Hollabaugh now under pressure with Roger Pierce pushing Chad on the outside. Oh, he's pushed him out of the racing groove a little bit. Chad just a little bit too wide. But he brings it back down in front of Pierce. But that's going to stall that outside line through 1 and 2. Lose them a little bit of ground. They're going to have to build that back up because they're once again side by side with Matt on the bottom side. And now with Jose through 3 and 4, good push down the back.
They're building a really good run down into turn 3, but getting up there kind of bogging down on the outside. It's weird how it works, right? Like everywhere else we go in these plate tracks, the outside line is typically the ticket coming through the corner, but here it's kind of backwards.
If you can get all the way down and just pinch the guy on the bottom side as hard as you possibly can, then you make the outside line work pretty well. You side draft them back, you get a big run down the back straightaway. But in the early going, you don't really want to do that. You don't want to risk that. You don't want to risk your competitors' cars. You don't want to risk your car. It's a 130-lap race. It takes a long time to get this one done. If you wreck it at lap 4, trying to side draft in the middle of the corners, well, it's a pretty long road with a broken car to the finish.
Yeah, I can't think of much worse than driving basically practice laps here at the speedways with, the whole front end knocked off of the car, waiting for the next caution so you can come in and fix it.
Oh, Chad finally getting put 3 wide. Roger Pierce was looking feisty there right behind him just about the entire time that he was behind him. So he's going to take the lead of the outside groove. Looking like Brad Wright giving him a push out there, but tough break there for Chad.
Yeah, I think Chad wasn't really liking the feeling of having the back tires lifted off the track going into the corners. Wants to go back here to the back, kind of save face, keep the thing in one piece so he can make a charge later on.
Could end up being a smart call, but just depends on if they wreck up here towards the front. Jacob Schneider still your race leader. Him and Newman, single file for the lead. Migrating up to the top side of the racetrack before we get down into turn 1. Just kind of widening out that entry a little bit, giving them a better arc in the corners. The tires where you might start seeing them try to do that as much as possible. But whenever they get into the side-by-side racing, it's a little harder to do it.
The good news, though, is a lot of these cars up here at the front right now, Ryco machines, kind of already have themselves locked up there at the front, kind of like we saw in the B Open the other night. If there's a wreck, I'm not expecting it to come from these guys.
I don't know. On the super speedways, I feel like it comes from anywhere. But look at Nicholas Roman way out on the outside. Is he trying to make a move or just getting some clean air? Looks like he's going to keep it to the outside. Make it 3 wide for third. Nicholas Roman with a little bit of help from behind. Going to get that outside line moving. Miller Bonds pushing him through.
Yeah, right now trying to get those cars up there at the front. Oh, look at Roman take it 3 down there, get back down to the bottom. Just pulled right out from under his teammate. Now he's in line behind Newman.
Doesn't really look like Roman's playing the team game too much, does it? I mean, that was pretty aggressive to take that move away or position away from your teammate. And now still 3 wide. Miller Bonds stuck on the outside. Brad right in the middle. Jose Acosta down low, but the middle line and the outside just way faster than the bottom at this point.
Yeah, the bottom line kind of got broken up down there with all that, changing the spots there about a lap or so ago. Going to take them a little bit to get that momentum built up. Meanwhile, that outside line in the middle is just stacked really heavy at the moment, especially the outside.
Can Gossett get up to the back bumper in that number 80 to make the outside line move? Can they get around the 18 stuck in the middle? Looks like they're going to get the draft down the back straightaway, and Gossett again, not quite up to the back bumper, not really giving a good shove. Not sure if he's going to be able to get clear coming down to the turn number 3. Looks like he finally does. Pulls down to the middle lane, and then Brad Wright pulls out from the bottom. We're about to have a train around the top.
Oh, and Gossett with a huge run in the middle. Where'd he get that from?
Okay, we might not be seeing the easy go-in racing that I thought we were going to see at the beginning. Oh, one of the fence a little bit further back. Skating it off the wall, dropping through the running order. Couldn't quite tell who that was. That just Nick Olson found the fence through 1 and 2. But 3 wide down to 3. Gossett really running them up wide. Miller Bonds getting a run on the bottom, able to take both positions and maybe get to the inside of Brad Wright.
The bottom line looking really good right now. Tommy, the only help he has is the cars that are in front of him. He has nobody behind him working with him. As I say that, the 18 starts to dip down there, but he commits back up to the far outside.
Oh, Brandon Evans.
Oh, man. Roman just blocking everybody right now, even if he doesn't have to.
Brandon Evans in that 39, trying everything he can on the outside line. It's tight between him and Gossett coming out of 4. The outside line's looking to prevail over the middle, but contact. Brandon Evans, Tommy Gossett coming together down to second. Second kink in the quad oval. Brad Wright almost turned through 1 and 2. Gossett's being aggressive.
Yeah, and right now I don't know, man. I don't know if there's much of a reward being that aggressive right now, this early in this thing, especially when you're surrounded by your teammates. Last thing you want to do is, go out here, make a mistake, and have a repeat of what we saw earlier in the week.
I agree, but is that fun?
No, it's not fun, man. But
we're here to have fun. Nicholas Roman's having fun. He's getting pushed up to the race lead on the bottom side. Roger Pierce with a huge shove to his teammate. Brad Wright just stuck in the middle with no help for a minute. Gossett can't quite get up there either because he's getting side drafted on both sides.
Yeah, but expect him to have a huge run as we come down into turn 3. As you see him, that middle line now starting to catch back up, form back up, a little bit stronger here now. Roman leading the middle line now. The outside line is just out to lunch.
Holy crap.
Oh, big slide from the 27 machine.
I'm going to have this picture in my nightmare. I mean, it looks like that Greg Biffle meme.
Yeah,
that's been running around for years.
I said that like, 2-3 months ago?
I mean, holy cow, this is ridiculous.
I'm going to have nightmares about Gossett and Ryco.
Just, if any of them wreck, we do the Greg Biffle meme recreation, but it's just Gossett in the wall. Gossett in the wall. Gossett goes spinning.
Yeah.
Even if it's not Tommy, we have to do it at least once.
Everybody kind of single filing out now, kind of building a train up there towards the top. Now, that's the plate racing I remember seeing on here.
Oh, Schneider's not content.
I think they looked at my keys to the race and they're actually taking them seriously this week because everybody's trying to lead every lap right now.
Well, they took that key seriously, but they didn't give a crap about your third key.
Don't die.
Don't die.
Well, everybody's alive right now, so.
That's a great way to jinx that, Sheldon. You don't have a good track record.
No, what can I say? I like seeing chaos.
Vroman's peeling out from the race lead. He went to the bottom. Brad Wright stayed up top. So Vroman going backwards on the bottom now.
I'm wondering too if there's gonna be a point where these guys realize, you know, what the fuel window is. If we're gonna see fuel saving come into play, like we see at Daytona and Talladega. That's.
I'm not sure exactly how far the fuel window is. So I don't know if we're gonna be playing any fuel games with 130 laps in this thing.
I think it's about 40. I think it's 40 in the B car.
No, it's got to be more than
like
that.
I think it was like 40 or 50 in the B car. Somewhere in that.
It's a mile and a half. It's got to be up towards the 50. It's got to be towards the 50.
It's a mile and a half, but there's
55.
no lift now. I mean, the Cup car. I mean, I know these things have bigger fuel cell if I remember correct.
Yeah, but if you're in the draft, you're lifting so much anyway. I don't know. I feel like you could probably make it 55 in the Cup car if I had to bet. I mean, if this is not the best advertisement for Ryco, I don't know what is.
I think the domination at Chicago is probably up there.
Well, yeah, that's fair. I'll give you that one. The Chicago domination was interesting to watch. I mean, they were just so far out in front of everybody. There was just about nothing for us to call. The Conky Donkey was laying it to them.
That car was absolutely mutilated and destroyed in both races, and still was pulling away from second.
Mutilated donkey faster than all the other horses. Crazy.
Yep. Meanwhile, Roger Pierce leading that inside line, getting a huge shove from the 7 of Wright.
Oh, look at Brad Newman through the middle.
Newman in the middle.
Holy cow, Brad
Huge
Newman
run.
tried to take the run to the race lead, but Gossett through the block.
No, I would be careful throwing moves like that on Newman. That everybody's pets are excited too. Oh, huge shot to Gossett. Gossett up the track. Off the nose of Newman. No lift here, but huge run for the outside line now as they get 4 cars stacked up, bumper to bumper.
Roger Pierce leading the way on the outside groove, but we're going to be 3 wide for the race lead. Brad Newman in the middle. Garrett Maines is getting lapped after missing the start of the race. He's lost touch with these guys. And he's about to get put a lap down, but Brad Wright's going to keep him in it on the bottom lane. Really nowhere to go, right? You're already 3 wide at Atlanta, and a lap car comes up. The best move is probably to lift on lap 22. Good job from Brad Wright there, but still 3 wide. Roger Pierce trying to take that lead right back.
Tell you what, not every day you get to say Maines is getting lapped. I think that's the first time I've seen that all year.
Well, missing the start of the Super Speedway will do that to you.
No, he had no chance. Nobody else missed it with him, and he just kind of rode around till they caught him back. But you know, once we get that first caution in, don't be surprised if you see Maines exactly where we're looking at him right now. Not a spot or 2 higher.
How about Brad Newman, man? What a run it's been for him in the early going, getting all the way up to the race lead, fighting all these guys side by side now for second. Tommy Gossett on the outside, using the draft from Pierce. Getting a push from Joseph down the straightaway, so that outside line is going to propel.
Well, that's the
Newman's
thing,
doing
man.
a great job up here.
That's the thing, man. This track right here, you know, the super speedways, it's the same ways as in real life. These guys kind of run 5th to 10th on, you know, a normal week, which is where we see Newman typically run. Sometimes the finishes aren't exactly there, but, you know, everybody makes mistakes and misfortune is a thing. But a track like this is a track that really falls in his wheelhouse. It's an opportunity for him to get out there and show, hey, I can go out here and battle for the wins too. And I mean, it's a track that'll pay off for people that are aggressive and not afraid to keep their foot in it. And man, I think of those things. I see that, you know, blue machine of Newman right there next to it in the dictionary.
The bottom
Look at
side
that
through
run.
3 and 4 is just ridiculous. Oh my word. The momentum that the 18 had from one push from Maines. It's not even like they have a line of cars. It's just 2 guys giving that huge of a push.
Yeah, it's just because you have these huge, it feels like hills up there at the top. And you get up there on it and, you know, it feels like you're bottoming out even if you aren't. It upsets the aero balance, it feels like. and it really slows you down and drags you back a little bit, which is why we see it so hard for the outside line to form runs. Oh, into the fence, the 24.
That's Brandon Evans that's found the, no, sorry, not Brandon Evans. Nick Olson found the fence again. That's the second time that we've seen the 24 tag the outside wall, running the high lane. But Olson now fading back to the back of the pack. Tough break. Was running it up in the top 15.
Well, good news. It shouldn't be too hard for him to find his way back up there.
Yeah. Well, that's a fair point. There's still a good chunk of guys, too, that aren't really racing, right? All these guys in the very, very back, they're not really trying, right? We just see them lined up on the bottom side of the racetrack past this pack. A bunch of guys just riding single file with a pretty good gap. So there's about 6, 7 cars just lined up there on the bottom, and then even probably the first 3 groupings of cars side by side. They're not really racing either, I don't think.
These guys further to the back trying to save, first off, be in a good range to where if there's an incident in front of them, they can avoid it pretty easily. And second off, this place, it wears tires a little more than the other speedways. Why go out there and burn it off to run 15th? Go to the back, kind of just taper off, save a little bit of fuel, save a little bit of tire, and keep your equipment in check. Make a charge for it later on. If you can't be up there to the front leading every lap, that's, kind of the way you got to go.
Mello Pierce was going to be my pre-race pick today, but I talked myself out of it because I said the exact same thing. He's just going to get involved in somebody's wreck. So I didn't have the faith in Pierce tonight, but he's leading the way on the outside groove. Leading a good couple of laps, but again, still 100 laps for something to happen to the poor guy. Oh, no, not right here. Not now. I was worried Tommy was going to turn about a 4, but they're all lined up. Oh, decent. Pierce getting a huge block from Newman.
Newman doing exactly what I was expecting,
guys.
Man. Newman doing exactly what I expected earlier in the pre-race. Out here throwing really good blocks, getting good runs. Move Newman back up to the lead for the time being as he pulls a side draft of Roman on the inside on the back straightaway.
That was a big block that he pulled on Pierce down the front straightaway, and it worked out for him, right? I mean, it's risk versus reward every time you do it. We saw the reward that time, but it's not going to be too much longer before we start seeing the risk.
Yeah, but he's in good hands up there at the front too, though. I don't see Pierce outright turning a guy. Neither do I see that from Roman.
Hey, man, accidents happen. The best of us make mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I was an accident myself. You good there, buddy?
I can't. That was just so out of left field for me. That was great.
You're welcome.
Oh, my goodness. Roman still fighting back on that inside line. Outside groove just a little bit more formed up, though. Pierce all over the back bumper of Newman coming down the back. Gossett getting a good shove from behind as well. So the Ryco Brigade on the outside is looking pretty good.
Yeah, Newman looking pretty strong up there, leading that front, the front of that outside pack, too. Getting really good runs on the back straightaway. It looks like the bomb's kind of struggling to form. You got a mismatch of cars down there. Mismatch of setups, too. And when you got that top running strong, I mean, just surrounded by those Ryco cars, you're going to get huge runs. They've been fast this week.
I need the Ryco cars to all be at the very front together just to calm my OCD. Like, it bothers me that we have a car that's a little bit different leading and a car that's a little bit different on the bottom side right there in the second row. I don't know what it is, but it's just a little irritating.
All right, well, I'll get on the box and tell Newman and Acosta they should fall to the back to fix your OCD.
Yeah, yeah. I would appreciate that. I need them both to pull out of line. Or, you know what, if they're leading the way and then Roman pulls back there, it'd be fine too.
Oh. Speaking of which, Roman and Acosta come up to the top, blocking off that outside line. Now they got a really good run on the back straightaway. Now if Roman's out here leading the pack.
And Garrett Main's back here. You see him on the outside, wondering why is Garrett Maines running so hard? He must be the first car one lap down. Well, the answer is he's not. I think he just made the move for it. Actually, no, that's James Holzer right in front of him through 1 and 2. James Holzer, 1 lap down. Garrett Maines, 1 lap down. 35 laps into this thing. Those guys are the guys fighting for the lucky dog.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun battle to keep up with throughout the night. Neither one of them wants to have to go and take the wave around, throw your strategy off and everything.
Getting a little dicey up front. Couple big moves. Nicholas Roman to the race lead. Acosta in second now on the outside of Nicholas Roman. Brad Newman pushing Acosta through on the exit of 2. That the outside line just has way more momentum. Time after time, it seems like it is just clearly the best line.
It comes in waves. Right now, I think we're at that point where the guys running the bottom are kind of, as you see the O2 machine right there in second place is kind of cycling up. I'm at the point now where I'm starting to think that these tires are starting to be hurt a little bit. These right fronts are getting a little bit harder to tuck in line behind the aero wash of the car in front of you, which is really hurting that run, whereas the outside, they can kind of just send it.
Even there on the entry of 1, I feel like Jose was just a little bit wider than he wanted to be. I could hear his tires squealing. He was really pulling the wheel, trying to get that thing down. I feel like it's hurting the guys on the outside too. Yeah, like you said, you can kind of mitigate it more. And you see Jose running too wide again. I think he's starting to hurt those tires. If you can't get that thing down to the bottom through 3 and 4 with the clean air, then oh man, you're struggling big time. Man, huge contact. You can't even get through the second kink of the oval.
Yeah, not the place you want to be right now if you're Jose up here at the front of this, up in the front section of this pack with handling issues. Can't think of anything more nervous than that.
Seems way too tight whenever he was getting into the corners in clean air. In dirty air there, it didn't look too bad, but man, we had seen it time and time again. Lap after lap, just too high. Oh man, contact between Gossett and Newman. Ends up being 3 wide. Miller Bonds on the bottom. And the battle for the lucky dog right behind. Garrett Maines is trying to push Gossett through, and Holzer just doesn't know where to go. If he helps Maines, he's just not going to get the spot.
And you know Tommy wishes he had a finger he could throw out the window right now, virtually. As Newman came right up on him there in the straightaway.
Tommy would love to throw that finger out just about every single race he's in. Almost contact there. Roger Pierce just about cleaning out Jose.
Dude, I'd wreck every week from driving one-handed. Absolutely. Nope. Here comes Gossett throwing it 3 wide with Acosta up there on the outside. Acosta getting pushed out of the pack now.
Gonna have to wait and see if anybody goes with Jose. James might be the only one thinking about it. Still in that lucky dog fight. Looks like he's gonna peel out to the outside, try to push Jose back past. Garrett Maines. No, he's actually gonna duck. Well, James doesn't quite know where to go, it seems like, because he's switching lanes faster than my mind can keep up with.
Yeah, I can't think of much worse than having handling issues at a super speedway, man. Had man, I think it was like 18 or 19, whatever the year, doesn't matter, but I had a really loose car at Talladega. It was super fast, but after about 20 laps, that right rear would burn off. Most scared I've ever been in my life on iRacing.
That's what makes Atlanta a little bit more fun than Talladega and Daytona these days, I feel like. It drives like old Daytona. Maybe not quite, but close enough. As it continues to age, I think we'll get there.
And it just reminds me a little bit of, that the 80s era Daytona, where you make your passes on the bottom, charge yourself up to the top, then just stay up on the outside line, and then somebody comes to pass you, you throw a block on them, or try to get the power off the corner. Whereas now,
Schneider up in the race lead. Sorry, go ahead, Sheldon.
Yeah, no. Whereas now it's just flat foot it and hope you don't die.
Schneider's found his way to the lead. Gossett in second. Joseph Squared in third. I think we're about to come up to green flag pit stops any moment. So we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break so that we can get back in time for those. When we come back, we hope to have them. Hopefully we won't have a wreck by then.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Ryco Performance. Friday night, NiS top split lead keeps changing hands. Nicholas Vroman up to the top side, throwing a block on Brad Newman for the race lead as we come back from commercial break. Working lap 50, tight block there. Newman all over the right rear of Vroman. I thought that was about to be it. I thought that was it. 4 wide, further back through 3 and 4. How is that going to work out? Somehow we get it filed down to 3. Intelligent move by the Interstate Batteries machine. That should have been a wreck. Wyatt Gray prevented it from being a wreck.
I can tell you what batteries got. It's not going to be buying anytime soon. That's
Holy
Interstate,
cow.
man, because that was a nervous moment for him to catch that 18 machine right in his nose.
He got out of it though. I give Wyatt big credit through 4. Just I think he drugged a brake or got off the gas, something through 4 to get out of that situation. I think that was a smart move coming down to these pit stops. Just don't want to be out of position. Keep yourself up towards the top 10 and give yourself a shot coming out. And you got to think, you probably want to be one of the last ones on pit road because most cautions at Atlanta happen from green flag pit stops, it seems.
Yeah, speaking of Wyatt, too, in that 18 Interstate Batteries machine, I can't think of anybody that's run more laps at Atlanta this week than him. Seems like every B Open that I've looked at or even thought about joining this week, he's been in it and running strong, too, near the front. So he could be a factor as we start shaking into the later stages of this thing.
Just starting lap number 53. Vroman still up in the race lead. Brad Newman, Garrett Maines. They're the top 3 on the outside line. Maines obviously a lap down, but here comes Brad Wright with a push from James Holzer on the bottom. Holzer's trying to get the lucky dog away from Maines.
And Vroman goes down to the bottom here. I don't think that's a block. I think he might be trying to get himself prepared for pit stops. Newman's going to take the lead, though.
Abrupt move from Vroman to go down to the bottom lane. Going to stack the bottom lane up a little bit. Brad Newman going to push himself out to the race lead. Now Garrett Maines ducking out of the bottom with a little bit of help from his teammate Vroman. He's looking to get back on the lead lap the hard way.
And that move right there is going to completely kill the outside line for a few seconds. You see it start to come back now as Maines comes back to the top and pulls Newman along with him. I'm wondering if Maines is going to try to control both the top and the bottom line. No need to worry about, battling to get back on the lead lap when you are at the tail end as the first car in the field.
At this point, Maines and Holtz are both hoping for a caution. Would benefit them both pretty equally for the first time since they've both been lapped. But now Vroman looking to the inside of Maines, trying to get the clean air all to himself, but he didn't have any help. So that outside line is going to flow back forward, and, well, the inside line loses another helper with Schneider jumping out to the outside.
And a huge shot to the rear bumper there a second ago from Brad Newman in that 18 machine to the rear end of Garrett Maines. I think he's trying to kind of move these guys out of his way. He wants to be up here at the front, and I don't think that he's going to be denied easily this race tonight.
Vroman had a huge shove into turn 1, got even with Newman, but he's going to lose a good bit of that down the back straightaway.
Oh. Off center push there from Gossett in third place at the back of the 39 machine. That was almost a big moment.
Evans, the third car on the outside, just staying in line for now. I feel like he's had a couple moments where he could have taken a run to maybe get himself side by side for the race lead, but he's thought better of it so far through the front straightaway and stayed in line. But I'd be watching out for Brandon Evans, third place on the outside groove. He's looking pretty quick.
I think that's a bit of strategy there, too, that you're seeing with Evans. Staying behind the one car that doesn't have Ryco stickers on it and working with it. Because
Oh, no!
Rick-
Brandon Evans goes into the outside fence. They're wrecking behind him. Spinning into the outside wall goes the Interstate Batteries machine. One of the Gossett cars collected, but just skating through the dirt. And I think we avoided calamity with that one. Might have gotten lucky with the Brandon Evans blink out.
Absolutely did, because if he hadn't blinked there, that would have been absolute chaos, and a lot of cars would have been junked in it.
Well, we were just talking good about him, but unfortunately, he made contact with Brad Wright there on the bottom. Not sure if Brad came up or if Brandon just aggressively side drafted. We'll get a look here. Vroman getting a huge shove down. Brad just came up and clipped him.
Brad way up, about nearly a lane and a half.
Oh, Schneider, they got a big piece of that.
And apparently the guy in 30th got caught in it too.
I believe.
From, driver chatter.
Oh no. I believe, yeah, Schneider has some right front damage, but it doesn't look too serious. I'm curious on the guy in 30th that somehow got caught up in this. There was a guy spinning for a long time, so I don't know if there's a good excuse for that one.
Yeah, and there's...
Look at Howlball getting through there on the grass.
And there's no time for Schneider to react to that, because he goes in the corner, everything looks clean. You can't really see what's going on 2 cars ahead of you. And the next thing you know, the seas are parting, and there's a car sideways in front of you, and you've got somebody in your rear bumper already.
Race off pit road. It looks like the driver second to last in line did somehow find the wreck. Junsa Lim came through and ARCA braked the hell out of that one.
I'd like to see that.
It was.
I love making fun of ARCA braking.
You could see smoke for a good while, and he was still on the gas.
That's I don't know if we got the technology to bring that to the TV screens at home or not.
ARCA brakes, baby.
But I love me some ARCA brakes. Here we go. Oh, we're about to get ARCA brake weekly over here. Let's see. I'm assuming it's the bright pink machine. No?
It's the one we're on board with.
No, yep, on board.
You see smoke still on the throttle.
Smoke, yep, no lift. Yeah, why lift? Just keep going. You know, the
that's
caution's
gone.
out. Yeah, we're fine.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
I don't know how mean I'm allowed to be, but...
I can pick up places after the yellow flag's out, right?
Now.
I can pick up places after the yellow flag comes out, right?
It'll be great as they go through that, wreck about 10 cars. Cars so good enough for them to go, because they're absolutely meatballed after that. And then it says, you know, let all the cars that wrecked in front of you by.
Yeah, you love to see that.
That's my favorite right there. Oh boy.
It could have been a lot bigger, especially coming off a 4. Shocked we didn't see more involved, but again, the Evans blink out kind of helped that one stay kind of contained.
I just feel sorry for whoever was checked up for that wreck and got assassinated on that.
Well, he missed all the guys that checked up and hit a car that wrecked, so at least it was somebody that was already in it.
Oh. A little bit of salt in the wound, I guess.
I think I'm okay. I got a little bit of damage. Bam! You're destroyed. Either way, because of the caution, we got no green flag pit stop. So Brad Newman will be up in the lead. Brad Wright in second.
Fun thing.
Nick Olson, Miller Bonds on the second row.
Fun thing, June Salim has a Twitch sticker on the back, so you can watch that from their point of view, too. In real time.
Oh, no.
Somebody better go clip that.
Don't ARCA brake here on GridVision. We will call you out. Don't ARCA brake it.
Absolutely.
Especially not from second to last. That far off the pack. Don't do it.
Look, I don't call out much, but the things I call out is intentional, intentionally spinning for a yellow, intentional wrecking, and ARCA brakes. But hey, here we go.
Hopefully we're done with ARCA brakes tonight. Brad Newman up on the front. Brad Wright on his outside. Coming down to the restart zone, Newman hits the gas once again. A huge jump for Newman on the inside. Easily clear before we get down to turn 1, but they're going to have a pretty big run on him on the outside, I got to think.
Yeah, I think Newman got way too good of a jump there. They're going to eat him alive when they get back to him out of 2 here. See him right now trying to make up his mind, going to the top to throw a block on the top line. Going to get a really good push from right down the back straightaway. That's going to keep him in the lead going down into turn 3.
Yeah, Newman was able to take the push off of turn 2 and hangs on to the race lead. So all line of stern up front. Not a lot of movement further back either. I think we're kind of getting back into the conservation mode a little bit for the guys further back now that everybody is packed up once again. Still pretty early in this thing. Only not even halfway done, actually. So still a long ways to go.
Oh, yeah, plenty of ways to go. Probably still gotta... Yeah, I think they might be close on fuel, actually. I really need to figure out what the window is for these cars.
Well, they made it about 58 before that caution flag came out, so we know that they're kind of close on being able to make it. But I don't know. They have to make it 68 this time. I'm not sure if that's within the fuel window.
Everything kind of calm up here at the front. Everybody just kind of settling in behind Newman. Couple cars on the inside line. See the 24 machine. Olsen getting a good push from the 27. Inside line not really being able to form up, though, and get that run that they need to get up there to the front.
Brad Wright giving a big shove to Brad Newman on the outside. So the two Brads working together pretty well coming down to turn number 3. A couple laps into this restart, we got the racing coming back rather than the riding. So how about we go to a little bit of a Ryco rev it up for a few moments? Getting pretty dicey up at the front of the field. Nick Olsen throwing a huge block sideways on the front straightaway. Oh my word, almost turned by Brett Wright on that huge block out of turn 4. Nick Olsen hanging on. That's the second straight time through the front straightaway that he's looked twitchy. Got sideways and through 1 and 2 again. 3 wide coming out of 2.
Yeah, that's the thing. Throwing moves like that, man, you know he's going to get pushed to the back. You see him still 3 wide behind him. Huge shot coming to the 7 from the 18 of Newman. Going to push the 24 back up to the top. Back out to the lead on that outside line.
Ooh, it was sketchy with that last block that Nick threw on the front straightaway, but here he's just lined up on the outside groove, getting a huge shove from Brad Newman and Brad Wright. Lined up pretty well on the outside line, but the middle lane is looking pretty good too, with Roman leading it. Vincent Crowe, he jumps out to the outside line. That outside groove's gonna have a huge shove of momentum now.
And move Vincent Crowe to the lead. How about that? Is the C24 of Olsen just going to hang him back out?
I think the time for riding seems to be over for a couple of these guys. Olsen, Crowe, and now Wright all going at it at the line. 3 wide for the race lead.
Say one thing, one person I wouldn't want to be at this point is Olsen. You see how selfish he's been, you know, getting himself to the bottom, to the top, trying to do everything he can to get the lead, not working with anybody. Once you get later into this thing, man, everything that you do at the beginning is going to come back and bite you. If you go out there and help people, you know, people are more likely to work with you. If you go out here and race for yourself, nobody's going to work with you. As you see them try to box him in there on the bottom.
Oh, almost 4 wide. I believe that was Pierce that backed out of it, thought better of the move. But I agree. I think it's maybe just being a little too risky here at the middle portion of this. You know, if you get down to the end and you've been slicing and dicing like that, you're not going to have too many people happy with you by the end of it.
Look at this. The 18's back in the picture.
He just wrecked.
Wyatt Gray. Yeah, he just about went up into the catch fence a couple laps ago. He's back up here in the top 10.
Oh, these things are tanks. To be fair, I don't think he had any huge hits. Oh, well, there's a hit to the outside fence there off of 4, but again, pretty inconsequential for the 18.
Little buff. Meanwhile, Wright Newman still leading the charge up here at the front of this thing, though.
Might battle for second, though. Brad Newman, Joseph Squared, really, really close coming off of turn number 2. Right with a huge shove down into turn 3. Newman, Mello pushing him through. Vincent Crowe now way down on the bottom side of the racetrack, starting to lose positions.
Wyatt Gray up here in the top 5 now, after getting absolutely gutted a handful of laps ago. Got a lot of pace in that thing tonight.
Hey, sometimes damage makes it better.
I would love to be in the situation where that is the case for me, but every time I get damage, it's pretty well done.
I'd have to agree with you. I don't think I've ever been had a benefit off of a damaged race car, but I've seen it happen a time or two. I don't know if that's. I don't think that's really what's going on with him though. Here, right? This is Atlanta. This is a super speedway. As long as you have all 4 fenders on the thing, it's gonna be okay enough.
Well, he doesn't have a right rear quarter panel, that's for sure. I'm looking at it right now.
What?
Yeah, his right rear's folded in pretty bad.
That's the one part of the race car you would maybe think would hurt pretty bad. I mean, obviously something on the nose, so tight between them a little bit further back, but I think the right rear might actually hurt him at a place like this. Maybe as the tires wear, we'll start seeing some handling issues out of him, but so far, doesn't look to be a problem.
And resident lap counter, James Houghton, reminding everybody that there is still 65 laps left in this thing. Through the driver chatter.
There's only 55, but the point still stands. It's a long time left in this thing for everybody to be going pretty crazy, and I think the racing up at the front is the craziest we've seen all night.
Yeah, it is dicey to say the least, as the 25 hits the fence here in the center of the front straightaway.
Yeah, Lucas Mello just way too wide out of the first kink and clobbered the fence. Now Gray's trying to find a way back, past him on the entrance of 1, but he's just going to push him through 1 and 2. So still double file all throughout the top 10, a little bit further back to about 15th. And who's that a little bit further back? Garrett Maines has found his way into the top 10 for the first time tonight after being a lap down for most of this thing. He caught the caution he finally needed. And, well, he's putting it to good use, running in 10th place right now.
Meanwhile, a bit of two-car tango up here at the front between the 27 of Roger Pierce and the 20 of Joseph Squared. Going to get Joseph Squared to the lead. Here comes Roman. That Ryco Brigade is back. They're on the bottom line, and they're 3 cars deep at the moment.
Thought there might have been a little chink in the armor. They've been a little overpowered here over the last couple laps, but all of a sudden, 3 of them get lined up on the bottom side and just power through for the race lead.
Not for long. Vroman's trying to make moves up at the top. Joseph Square's going to come to the top and cover it. Now Vroman's going to go to the middle, bring it back down to the bottom. He's going to try and lead it down into turn 1.
I'm surprised at how little the Ryco guys seem to be helping each other. They help each other get to the front, but as soon as they get there, every single one of them wants to lead.
Well, if it goes well, everybody's happy. If it goes bad, Ken's probably going to smack them all on the wrist.
I don't know. You know, it's Atlanta. Maybe you understand an issue a little bit more here. You know, if you get together, just a little bit of door contact. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah, but you don't want to get all your cars out there, run up at the front, and all of them wadded up.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. I can't argue with that.
We saw it Monday night. We don't want to see it again tonight. You know, look at this, Maines.
Oh, man, huge blocks from Vroman. He thought about going to the top, but it wasn't there. Came back down to the bottom at the last second. Pierce was just about to get to his quarter panel. Vroman able to hang on, though. That was maybe a little bit more dangerous than it needed to be down to 3.
Meanwhile, from a lap down, missing the start to 8th place, Garrett Maines carving his way through the field like it's not even a problem. Down here on the inside, 4th car in line. A drive out of him already.
Who do you think looks the best so far tonight?
Ah, that is an impossible one to say.
I've been having a difficult time trying to formulate an answer myself. It just feels like there's been so many different guys up towards the front, giving it a opportunity. I mean, Brad Newman, Pierce, Roman have been up here. Main's coming from the back to the front. There's a good handful of guys that I feel like have a really good shot to win this one.
I got to go with Newman. And for multiple reasons. Reason number one, he's just so dang aggressive every week. We know that. He's not afraid to go out here and make enemies. Reason number two, he has no ties.
What did we just watch? A lap car decided to become a lawnmower out of turn 4 to get out of the way. I mean, fair enough, but I don't think he needed to do that. The 41 was the one that got ARCA braked earlier, and his damaged race car not fast enough. He took a very evasive maneuver to get out of the way of the leaders here.
Look at this $250,000 John Deere D100. Look at him go at it. Mowing it down.
I think he was just trying to peel it as low as possible to get away from everybody, and he just touched the apron and it ripped him around.
He succeeded on going as low as possible.
A little too low.
Maybe.
But hey. Give him a couple extra points for, or a couple.
Let's see it again. Yeah, comes down there.
Points.
Gets it off centered. Gets on that transition to the flat, and man, if he just spun that would have been huge.
That grass to asphalt to grass transition is rough. I mean, that's so difficult to save, and he was able to hang on to it, drive out of it, at least keep his car clean-ish, but he's definitely done and dusted from that earlier wreck. So not like it matters too much there for Jordan Booth, but hey, style points at the end of the night, consolation prize.
Yep. But as I was saying about Newman a few minutes ago, though, before we watched the groundskeeper of Atlanta Motor Speedway hard at work, I like him because he has no ties. He can go out here and push anybody however he wants. He's nomading it. He's, just himself out here. Whereas everybody else got a bunch of team stickers on their car.
Yeah, it's a weird situation to be in, right? I feel like you want a couple friends, but if you're like one of the Ryco cars and you're in their situation, you almost feel like, another number in the group, and you're like, what are the odds that I'm the one out of the 6 in here that's actually going to win it? If you've got 1 or 2 other guys you're working with, you
just
think
about
maybe
get turned down the
Newman.
front straightaway.
Holy cow, what a save from Brad Newman. He almost took out a couple of the Ryco cars with that one.
What's that, like the 3rd save we've seen out of him tonight? Impressive. Keep it up.
Golly, man.
Please don't make me look wrong this week.
These things are tough to save, too. I can't believe he hung on to that one the way he did. Joseph squared to the inside of Roman, though, for the race lead. Down into 3. Joseph's looking to take it.
Gonna take it. He's got it. But Roman's gonna cut back under him.
Oh, Brad Newman makes it 3 wide. Brad Newman with the run on Joseph, splitting them in the middle. Brad Newman trying to get back to the race lead. Oh, Brad Wright's trying to take it now. What in the world?
Nobody wants to stay in line with anybody right now. Roman gonna get a little loose out of 2. He's gonna come back up to the top, cover Wright. Wright's gonna take him 3 to the outside again. The middle line's gonna form up by the time they're done.
I mean, what in the world am I watching? I know there's still, there's 43, 42 laps left at the line. But man, these guys are racing like we got a rainstorm coming.
Well, there is rain in the forecast. You see the clouds over turn 2?
Shut up, Sheldon. Shut up.
It'd be wild, man.
I would love it if we could get rain shortened races on iRacing.
Oh, it'd be so
I know I'm in the minority for that, but I would
I've been saying it for years.
Add a little bit of strategy to it. You never know whenever that could happen in the middle of a green flag cycle or something.
So much drama. It'd be so
Don't make it
cool.
super common, right? Like 3% of races on iRacing should be like
unless they're at Pocono, then they're all rain shortened.
Well, yeah, fair. That's that's a good point.
Rain delays would be pretty interesting too.
No, not delays. If it rains, the race is over. We're not doing any delays. That's stupid.
No.
Oh, they're wrecking further back into 3. Brad Newman is done. He is wrecked against the outside wall. 3, 4 other cars collected. Oh my gosh, one goes flipping. Bruno Mello. Oh, I believe that's Bruno. Sorry, excuse me, Lucas Mello. God bless. Gonna replay what happened coming down to turn 3. Taking out a lot of contenders up here towards the front. Mello loose off of 2, getting into the fence. Nick Olsen giving him a shove, getting it back in it. Oh, Newman came up a little bit, it looked like, and just kicked it all off from there.
Huge mistake out of Newman, and that's going to be a costly one too. Oh my god!
I was wondering how the hell he started flipping. I was so confused whenever I saw that on my screen. But okay, well, a little bit of internet connectivity with the two cars coming together there or something. I don't know, but that was pretty cool. We were talking about style points earlier. That's a X Game gold medalist trick right there.
Yeah, this brings you back to Tony Hawk Pro Skater right here. See right here, Mello has no idea what's about to happen, and right around here is where he realizes, oh, we're wrecking.
I think he noticed it a little bit earlier.
Oh my god, that is wild.
What the hell was that?
That's almost not top 10 worthy right there.
And get one more look on the replay here just to get another idea of what happened. Obviously, Mello's coming down a little bit, but I felt like he had straightened it up and then Newman came up. Maybe Mello was still on the way down, but either way, it results in a good chunk of wrecked race cars.
Oh, no, not...
What the...
Oh.
That made me sick a little bit.
Makes me nauseous every time I see it.
That made me sick.
I like Tyler Reddick over here.
Well, everybody's come down pit road, so we're going to go ahead and take our final commercial break of the racing action. Whenever we come back, we've got it live until the checkered flag. Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Friday night NiS top split action from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Roger Pierce up in the race lead. Joseph Tucker in second. Garrett Maines third. Brad Wright up in fourth. It's been a heck of a race so far. A lot of craziness in that last run, and I imagine now, since we're definitely good on gas, it's only gonna ramp up. Roger Pierce bringing us back down to the green flag. He stomps on the gas pedal over racing once again here from Atlanta, 2x2 all throughout the field. Pierce, the only one single file up in the race lead.
Everybody's side by side right now, further in the pack. Big push to the outside. No, Wright's going to go to the outside. He's going to try and get to the top of the 13 machine. Going to do it. He's going to duck back down to the bottom. Wright leading the charge on the outside, though.
The outside line fell back a lot on the restart, but sometimes you see that, and then they get a huge surge of momentum towards the front as the inside line starts getting pulled apart, and I believe it's happening out of turn number 4. Brad Wright with a huge shove from Nicholas Roman out of turn 4. They're coming for the race lead.
And here comes Garrett Maines to the top with a block to Wright. Oh, just about into the fence for Wright. Maines is going to take the point now, though, as they come out of turn 2.
Oh, my God, that was so tight down the front straightaway. Maines with a huge block on Brad Wright. Coming out of turn 2, both of them still single file, and that outside line is moving. They are clear of the bottom, and here comes Roman on the inside.
This is the Friday night that we're used to. Roman versus Maines. Inside not going to be able to get a good run, though. Wright is absolutely tucked up into the fuel cell on Garrett Maines right now as they come through the front straightaway. Inside is not able to build up that momentum the way that they need. Maines thought about blocking, but here comes Roman back with another swipe.
Doesn't matter where we go. short track, mile and a half, traditional kind of racetrack, the cookie cutters, road courses, super speedways. It doesn't matter where we go. Nicholas Roman and Garrett Maines find themselves to the front, battling for the race win week in and week out. And here it is with 35 laps to go. Roman on the bottom, Maines on the top. The outside just looks better right now.
Yeah, that outside line is absolutely stacked, but we've seen how strong the two-car tango can be on the bottom as they take a lap car right here, the O2 machine. I want to say that's Schneider. Yeah, there we go.
Oh no, Roman goes spinning out of turn 2. He gets it locked down, pulls it back up across. What a save from the 95. That should have been a destroyed race car.
Might as well be, though, at this point, because if he don't get another caution, he has absolutely lost his draft. Of course, we're probably going to get another caution, but...
Oh, Pierce just got to his left rear on that and just barely tagged him coming out of turn 2. It looked like Roman was kind of coming out of the corner and Pierce was getting back towards the red and white line, and just a little bit of contact is all it takes.
There we go,
Sends
Tommy.
Roman to the back and out of the draft.
Tommy brings it down to the bottom. He wants to try and lead the front of this inside charge now. Nobody to help him at the moment. You see the O2. It's up there with him. Sorry, it's a 12. Huge charge coming now for Gossett on the inside.
And they build up the momentum, not in time for the 13 to peel down to the bottom and take the bottom side over. Pedro Palladino ducking out. No, excuse me. Pedro's in the number 9 on the outside.
And my question is, when's this 24 going to dip? Because we've seen Olsen be aggressive all night.
Oh, into the fence. Yeah, you know he's going to pull out as soon as he has a little bit of momentum, right? I mean, as soon as he gets a good shot. Oh, okay, or he's going to get turned down there. Either one works.
Hey, this works out better for him than if he just came at it strategically, though. Maines is getting pulled away from the front here. They're going to get a huge charge on that inside line.
Oh, Brad Wright decides to just shove him on the outside. Nick Olsen on the inside getting a huge shove from Tucker. And James Holzer's found his way to the front. He was a lap down not too long ago. Oh, Holzer almost wrecks out of 4. He tried to find a hole in front of Acosta, but Acosta did not budge.
Huh. Oh, 4 wide down in turn 1.
Oh, my goodness. You can't make it work. You can't make it work. You got to get it filed down to 3. Still 4 wide all the way through 1 and 2. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Oh, contact again. More contact.
Oh,
Pierce goes spinning. That one's going to bring out the yellow. Somehow Pierce doesn't get damaged.
Oh, 13's around 2.
Further up. Holy cow, everybody saved it. Everybody saved it. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe we have not had junked race cars in either of the 2 incidents down the back straightaway. Holy crap.
And look at that. The new shark fin worked. The 27 kept it on the ground.
Okay.
It's fixed.
It worked really well at Daytona, didn't it?
Oh, it worked great. It's almost like the shark fin was never the problem.
It's almost like we have a perfectly flat airplane wing under these things.
Yeah, you know, like the same thing with the car tomorrow back in the day. Guess we didn't R&D that enough.
What could air possibly do to this big flat surface if you turn it the wrong direction? Nothing. The air's not going to do anything. For sure.
Thankfully on iRacing, it didn't do anything there.
Oh, honestly, Crow came down a little bit, squeezed Acosta down. I imagine he thought they were really only 3 wide. And unfortunately, Crow turned across his nose, and Acosta just kind of got forced to the left, and Roger Pierce is the guy that lost out on it, but ultimately didn't hit anything. The yellow flag came out, so, well, him and his teammate, Nicholas Roman, are going to get a reset button.
On board with Pierce here. Just little shove, round she goes. One heck of a save, and can't blame Crow too much, man. He probably got a little bit of that mane and tail shampoo in his eyes on that one.
I don't trust anybody that has a Quinn Half paint scheme, so.
Yeah. We love you, Vince. We need to get you to get away from them mane and tail cars.
Yeah, I agree. As long as you have that on there, you're gonna pull Quinn Half moves. And that was not a Quinn Half move. That was, I don't really. Again, the iRacing spotter doesn't tell you you're 4 wide. So if you think you're 3 wide because you're stuck on the top, you think you're 3 wide because you're stuck on the top, and you're not getting told otherwise. That's a iRacing issue, not a driver issue. So just poking fun on Vincent. But for real, iRacing, give us a 4 wide call. What the hell?
Yeah, please. But no, for real though, if it was a Quinn Half move, he would have probably broke down 10 laps into the race and been put behind the wall.
Or turn across 3 lanes of traffic to pit without a left side mirror.
Yeah.
Because that's intelligent.
Oh, it worked for JJ. Everybody's catching strays tonight, man. I can't help it. Look at this Padovich found his way up into the top 3 now.
And he was a lap down early, too.
Yep.
You just never know who you're going to see up here. Chad Gunningsman, he started up on the front row, and he dipped early, just decided to run in the back. All of a sudden, he's up to third or fourth.
Smartest move he's probably ever made in his life.
Well, it's gotten him up here now. But he was one of the guys that stayed out. I think these guys up at the front have a little older tires. So they do come into play here, but it's only about 10 laps, so it might not be too huge with only 30 more to go. Typically, you start really seeing that tire wear at the end of these runs. It's where you start getting some handling issues. So maybe Chad will be able to stay in this thing, even though a little bit of older rubber on. Pierce saying that was fun. It was a little pirouette down there, so it wasn't too bad, right? Could have been worse.
I think he'll be all right.
See, look, most of the time, Roger finds an incident that was not his fault. Was that the incident and it just didn't wreck him that time? So we've got the one incident out of the way, so Pierce is clear to win this thing, right?
Pierce champion. Calling it now.
Whoa, I don't know about that. Let's not go too far.
Let's hope that is the incident and it's not just a guaranteed he's got to wreck out. Because there could be a second incident.
We don't have the playoffs, so I don't think he can win the championship.
All right, Roger wants us to rate this.
We don't have a fraudulent playoff system.
All right, so there's 3 of us. Roger said rate the spin.
We had a kickflip that was a little cooler right before that, so I'm going to have to get maybe a 7 out of 10. The kickflip was like a 9. Back to the gas, though. Joseph Tucker up in the race lead. Joseph squared on the outside. Second time tonight we've had some mirroring of names up on the front row. It was the 2 Brads earlier, now it's the 2 Josephs.
Tucker and Padovich getting a really good launch on the inside line. They're going to clear the top for now, but as you see Joseph squared, that outside line getting really well, really stacked up, really formed. You're going to see them coming up, but no, they break off. Wright's going to go to the middle again. You don't want to work with nobody.
Chad went to the outside. Oh, Gossett goes back up to the top. I thought Gossett was going to, Joseph Squared was going to just stay on the middle line with his Ryco teammates, but he decided to bail up to the top with Chad, and now Padovich is going for the race lead. Tucker's a sit and duck on the bottom.
And Main's going with Padovich, coming up from the inside line to get up to the top to push Padovich to the front here. Does Padovich stay up top or does he go back low? Huge run coming from the bottom line. Huge crash. Wrecking
out of 2. Multiple drivers pounding the outside wall. No caution flag flying. Finally, we see it come out. Ends up being a melee down the back straightaway for a lot of these guys. One of the Ryco cars involved. Can't quite tell which one that is.
Looks like Schneider.
Oh, Schneider again. God bless. Poor guy.
Rough night for him.
It was Schneider. Brad Newman involved again. John Whitendorf involved. Brad Newman found another one.
A little bit of bumper hook coming out of
from the top.
Looked like.
Yeah, Whitendorf got turned by Gray at the top of the racetrack.
Oh man.
Just really wasn't able to do anything. And Roger Pierce barely missed that one. He squeaked by on the bottom right before that bump came through. Like I said, he gets the one wreck, but he avoided damage. So Pierce is going to get through here okay, I think. He's got a chance.
See what happened to Schneider here. Just nowhere to go.
Yeah, you're traveling at 170 miles an hour, and all of a sudden a car just comes flying up the racetrack and pounds the outside wall. Not much you can do.
Poor Newman. He had that thing miss until Schneider got popped back down the track into him.
So weird. I just don't even think anything about those little hits like that. Like Schneider, that hit for Schneider was worse than Newman, right? Because it was right in the wheel. It's right in the left front wheel for Schneider. So I'd be worried for Jacob. But I mean, it looks like his toe's already knocked out, to be fair. But Brad, a little bit of damage to the fender, whatever. You come down pit road, sit for 30 seconds, and it's brand new. So I think Brad will be fine. Why don't we penalize mistakes anymore? Like, why? I don't know. Damage model. Damage model's a little. Yeah. I know everybody cried about the B car having 12.5 seconds of damage and being dog shit slow. But it just needed a little bit of tweaking, not completely going in the other direction. I can't stand seeing people get junked in these things and coming up to the front. I think it's so dumb.
light contact should be something you should be able to fix. Heavy contact should be something you should fix, but has some kind of a
Yeah,
penalty.
agreed.
Because there's no reason we should see the 18 getting, spun. And no disrespect to him, with Gray, but there's no reason he should get hooked from the field and hit by pretty much everybody here like a pinata. And, we see him back up there in the top 5 fighting for the win earlier in this thing.
Just blows my mind, man. Come on, give me some damage back. I want to see mistakes be punished. I talk about it all the time at the road courses. The best road courses are the one with grass on both sides or walls on both sides because it punishes you if you make a mistake. Screw the runoff. In NASCAR, well, we don't really have runoff. The track's so daggum big, but whenever you hit anything, there's not a penalty, man. Yeah, what? Why? Why no penalty? Doesn't need to be like the B car was back in the day. Like 12 and a half seconds was a little egregious for that to be, race killing, for sure. But I don't know, maybe 40 seconds should have been race killing or something that would cost you a tenth or two through the corners. I feel like we could have just scaled up like the damage times for how much damage you had. But either way, I'm not the one making decisions, so.
At this point, we might as well just have the quick repairs in the official series.
I mean, dude, honestly, unless your car's just toast, it's basically the same thing.
But I can't complain too much because I don't get to experience the good sides of the damage model. Because normally when I get wrecked, it's done.
The next gen for sure. Like if you just tag the wall, you're not going to get damaged. They don't get damage in real life. But like a hit, man, I can hit the wall pretty daggum good and it not really do anything, and that's not realistic. But you know what, guys? We are playing a video game, so I guess we can't ask for too much because they definitely say that this thing is a video game.
Hey, look who's in our chat right now.
And that $60 price point. You can't ask for too much with a $60 price. Oh, wait a minute. Either way, the iRacing pace car's coming down. Nicholas Patovich up in the race lead. Garrett Maines in second. 21 laps to go. We're racing once again from Atlanta.
Patovich with a good launch. Going to clear Maines here. Maines going to fall back in line behind him for the time being. So everybody's side by side behind him. 13 machine on the inside getting a good push from the 24 of Olsen. The outside line getting a really good run coming out of turn 2.
Outside line more stacked up. Who's going to be the first one to make a move? Does anybody make the move, or does the 13 come back on the bottom through 3 and 4? Brad Wright almost looking to the outside of Palladino, but here comes Garrett Maines on the bottom. Out of 4, he's got the run, he's got the momentum, and he takes it all the way down to the apron to clear Patovich.
What a move for Maines there.
Oh, contact
on
the
full
back.
line.
Is that Gossett into the fence? Jose Acosta somehow hangs on to it. I thought for sure Acosta was going around. But I think Gossett was the one that pounded
and Patovich into the wall at it too.
Oh, we're not done yet. We're gonna be wrecking for the rest of this thing, aren't we?
Well, it's NiS. It's a super speedway.
Yeah. You're saying?
Are those enough context clues?
Oh,
and
there it is.
Right in front of the 12.
Oh, he's coming back up across the
And
track.
more.
No, they spin higher.
Oh.
Gossett involved. Roger Pierce involved. Everybody stays straight with the yellows out. So a couple impacts there for a couple people, but ultimately I don't think a lot of guys are going to be coming down pit road because of what I said under the last caution. Who would have thought? Happens. Oh, goodness. Which one of the Ryco cars was the one that got turned out of the pack that somehow hung on to it? I mean, I thought for sure he was going to be coming back up across the racetrack and killing everybody himself, but instead.
Wait, what was that? After the fact, Jose was turning up into the 9 there.
Oh, we might need to get on board with that.
A little bit of contact. 12 gets sent down. We'll see what happens here with Jose. A little bit of retaliation. He was screaming in the driver chat after this was over. Even though he made it through basically scot-free.
What is he screaming about? He literally went up there and...
He was screaming because he got turned.
I mean, we're... Okay.
The driver
chat. Miller Bonds, by the way, at the bottom that made the huge save. So big credit to Miller, because there's just about no reason for him to save that.
He does a good job keeping on the bottom, too. Keeping himself from getting absolutely clobbered from behind.
Oh no, I signed up for a super speedway race and I got a bad bump draft in the last 20 laps. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Yeah. We're now talking about protestable offenses in the driver
I gotta
chatter.
be honest with you. I'm looking at Acosta. He might be an idiot. He is going 190 miles an hour at the front straightaway. For some reason, goes up high and lifts like he doesn't run the line as everybody else down the front straightaway and loses 7 miles an hour while the guy is all over his back bumper. And he shifted lanes to the top side while the guy behind him kept the normal lane that everybody in front of him was running. So, I don't know. It's a super speedway, dude. Come on. You can't slow up 7 miles an hour whenever somebody's on your back bumper.
Well, I don't remember many times we've caught him bright.
That's fair.
Vincent Crozen, you're talking about when he got voice changed for calling somebody a clown.
Like, I'm not trying to be like, white knighting for Pedro Palladino or anything, but like I don't think he did anything wrong. Acosta just drove too high on the straightaway through the second kink and slowed down 7 miles an hour. I don't, you can't expect the guy behind you to dodge you. You pull out a line and slow up 7 miles an hour. Good luck.
Oh, and like also you didn't get destroyed, man. You got a little bit of door contact with somebody. You're fine. Like, why are you gonna go out there and try to?
He's still an 8th, and he was screaming on the voice chat. Really?
Yeah. Why are you gonna, go out there and try to blow somebody's door off under yellow? It's childish. I can understand if you've got absolutely clobbered. Yeah, go out there and spin the guy that hooked you. Whatever. We've all been there.
He lost nothing.
Yeah.
Like, just.
If anything,
how
he
many
gained.
times has Jose spun people? And like, what the?
Childish, man.
We got a clown show in Atlanta.
The dude is a weapon every week and gets mad when somebody out weapons him.
Yeah, we're on the no BS here tonight, so I can't wait for the next person to make a mistake so we can clown on them too.
It's like Garrett gets wrecked. Man, Garrett sucks.
Well, to be fair,
dominated every
it wasn't even like a mistake or anything. It's just his reaction. Like, what do you? I mean, we're super speedway racing. What do you think is going to happen with less than 20 to go? It blows my mind.
Like, it's one thing if it was lap 3 or lap 4, but dude, you got 20 laps to go. Everybody's out here trying to win this thing.
The guy behind you's on your bumper. The guy behind him's on his bumper. The guy behind him is on his bumper. Ain't nobody got anywhere to go if you got to check up. So, either way, we got enough to talk about under the commercial break or the caution period. Now, 15 laps to go at the line. Garrett Maines, Joseph Tucker up on the outside. Nick Olson, we've seen him make some crazy moves up here at the front. Still up at the front. What's he going to do to get the lead?
Yeah, we saw him make crazy moves significantly earlier in the race when it didn't really matter. We're getting to the point now where, the pay window's opening up. It's crunch time. Expecting heavy chaos out of him as you see Tucker getting a really good push from right. Oh,
God bless the move from Tucker. And then freaking Holzer. Holzer makes it 3 wides in the middle. Garrett Maines blocks Holzer. Both these guys were a lap down for about half of this race. Now they're leading the way in the middle lane, trying to be 1-2.
Maines gets shoved.
I don't know if that was the right move. Holzer coming through in the middle. Still 3 wide for the race lead. Maines trying to clear before we get to 1.
Whether you think it's the right move or not, I don't think Maines had an option. Holzer had him hooked all the way through the quad oval, scooted him right up the track in front of Wright. Wright going to give him a huge push down the back straightaway, though, and they're still 3 wide through the field.
Garrett Maines and Wright, the only one single file. Matt Hollabaugh now on the outside, stuck 3 wide. Oh, the 13 gets a tap from Olsen through 3 and 4. Goes down to the apron, but saves it. Oh, but they are behind him. Nicholas Pavich gets turned down into the grass. He does a 360, saves it, and we're under caution again.
It's got to be the luckiest spin.
Look at that. If you got to check up for something in front of you, the 13 gets loose on the apron. 24 has to check up. 45 has to check up, and look at that. It's just the people behind can't see. Oh. And everybody's on each other's bumper. And unfortunately, the guy third in line is the one that gets turned.
Look at that.
Wow,
that was
super speedway racing,
That was a beautiful
man.
360.
Who would have thought?
I don't know, man. I think that might be the spin of the race right there.
Oh, we saw Pierce do it on the back straightaway where you've got walls down there. I feel like that one.
Yeah, but
that one is maybe more impressive because you could have hit the fence. This one, I feel like Pavich just gets spun at the perfect angle to go through the grass, and that way I mean, don't get me wrong, he did a great job, but the backstretch having walls on both sides and the inside wall being really narrow, just kind of Seems more impressive to me.
And that was with 15 to go. He's about to get even crazier, brother.
We're hearing in the chat that there was an incident after in turn 1. I don't know who or what. But I'm going to go back and try to find who it was, so maybe our producer can get a replay for us. Oh, he might have found it himself.
Nope. Yeah, look at the packed house. There we go.
Let's see. Who started it? Who did it? Where is it? I don't see a wreck down in the 1. I don't know what the old conky donkey's talking about. Might have lost his mind a little bit. He might have gotten conky donkeyed.
Well, he's still in Chicago. We ain't seen him since, so ain't no telling. Get back in here and race more, man.
He types made you look in chat. I'm gonna be really mad.
It would be in form for him. Look at that. We just wasted precious resources with our producer. Trying to find that.
You know you only get so many clicks out of a mouse, man. You just wasted a couple on Darby's. Yeah. That's not right.
When Darby's mount.
When Darby's mouth does what?
We can't go this way. Hey, yo.
Oh God. The conky will be back
we
for
were
the Glen,
so
so that's
close.
good. We were close. We were close.
10 laps. 10 laps is all we needed.
It is what it is. Hey, we're good for 80% of the race being somewhat normal, and then 10 to 20 is going to be a little unhinged.
All right, so walk with me here. I'm used to correcting the word mouse to mouth because my daughter keeps trying to she points at her mouth and she says my mouse because she doesn't know how to say the th yet.
That's a good excuse. That is a good excuse.
So every time I say mouse, I'm like, no, I mean mouth, and yeah, that's obviously. Being a dad has changed me.
I think you're just manipulating us. I don't think you really have a kid. You're just using it as an excuse.
Yeah, dude, it's been the hardest thing in the world to AI generate pictures of that kid with me every day and videos on Snapchat.
It's not hard to do the AI generation though. I know you're lying to me.
Oh, I gotta make sure. I gotta go through 30 to make it, look like the same kid.
Mm-hmm. Whatever you say, fake dad. Either way, coming down to 10 laps to go. The iRacing pace car coming down. Garrett Maines, Brad Wright, Matt Hollabaugh, James Holzer on the front 2 rows. The green flag is flying. 10 laps to go from Atlanta.
Garrett Maines gets a good jump here on the start. Going to be able to clear the 7 machine as they come into turn 1. Side by side behind them. The same thing we've seen every restart so far. Oh, we got him going 3 wide. Ryco Brigade up there on the top, right up against the wall.
We haven't said Houghton's name all night. He's the one leading the charge. Acosta pulling the block out of 2. And it just becomes one big long line on the outside. It looks like Houghton's still trying to find the middle. Just not enough room for him to get by.
But here comes Holzer fighting strong on the bottom. On the inside of Garrett Maines coming out turn 4. A little bit of door contact into the front straightaway. Holzer going to lose a lot of momentum there because he slid up the track just a little bit. The outside's going to run free.
Nick Olsen cut the dog leg. He's going to make up a ton of spots doing it. 3 wide down into turn 1. Matt Hollabaugh caught in the middle, and the inside line has completely disintegrated after what happened in turn 4.
And look at this right now, 3rd place, man. What an upset it would be if Vincent Crowe was able to get this thing done tonight. Right there behind Wright and Maines, Vroman on his rear bumper. Good company.
Holtz all over the back bumper of Acosta. He was turned earlier, but didn't lose any spots. And he's still got a chance at this thing up in the top 10 with a huge shove from the 17. Can he hang on?
Acosta leading the charge on the inside. Still making up spots here to the outside line. Going to stall out on the back straightaway. The outside line has formed so well and the momentum's so strong. Here comes Crowe down to the bottom, though.
Vincent Crowe looking for the race lead. He's down to the inside of Garrett Maines. Doesn't have the help yet, but can Acosta get to him coming out of turn number 4? The outside line is just stacked up way too well, and the inside line only has 5 or 6 cars. So Garrett Maines, Brad Wright, both going to push each other back clear of the inside as we come down to turn 1.
Jose Acosta all up in the rear bumper of Vincent Crowe as they come down to turn 1. Maines kind of dipping down to the bottom a little bit, but coming back up to the top. Going to get a huge run, huge shove. Roman's now connected to the 7 of right as they come down into turn 3.
We've got 2 distinct packs here as we are coming to 6 laps to go. The main pack all 2x2. The second pack just about 3 wide all the way through. Nobody with anywhere to go, and they're all side drafting each other further back from the main pack. Just kind of ruining their chance at getting a good finish at this thing.
Here we go now. Crow getting another really good run on the inside. Only able to get up to the second car, though, because that outside is so strong at the moment. God, they just leave him in the dust once they get on the straightaway.
Oh, Newman's making moves further back. He's middle 3. Trying to break himself back up into the top 10. That's that blue car up in the top side. He was in the second pack. He's gotten free of it and has gotten himself up to the middle lane now. Oh, they get coming down to turn number 1. Joseph gets turned. Oh,
huge
hard
crash.
contact into the outside wall for the 33. Multiple drivers involved coming down into turn number 1. That's probably big enough to end his night, but you'll never know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
that one's
done.
definitely big enough. Yeah, that was definitely big enough. The 33 took a huge 90-degree impact head first into the outside wall there.
So,
we're gonna have to get a look at what happened. Brad Newman through the middle, but a little bit further up. Oh, ends up being 4 wide.
Just watch this ride for the 33. God, man. That's one of the moments where you're glad that this is a sim and not real life, because that's the kind of wreck that would hurt.
13 on track was Joseph Tucker in front of, I believe it was Jacob Schneider coming through the front straightaway here. Kind of a similar issue what we saw with Acosta earlier. I couldn't tell from that angle if
looks
Schneider
like he
was
got
trying
into
to get to his inside beforehand, or if the line was going through the middle and Tucker just pulled up a little bit late. I needed like another angle at it, but at the end of the day, it was Schneider and Tucker that came together down the front straightaway and brought out the incident here. And you know what? He wasn't even done. He was just stuck on the bank.
Stuck. Put it in reverse. Back it up, Terry. What are you doing?
Another angle down the front straightaway. Just look at Schneider, the 0-2 right behind 13. 13's looking to make it 3 wide. And then kind of, it looked like he chose not to, but he chose too late. Like he kind of twitched to the outside, coming down to the second kink, like he was going to pull back up to the top, but it was just too late for him to make the move. And Schneider either thought he was going to peel off to the top or thought he was making a 3 wide move, and it ended up being a 4 wide move.
That's all it takes to
little
wipe out a
twitch.
whole bunch of cars here. It's just one miscalculated move, and then round everybody goes. Look at this, man. Second place, Vincent Crow. He's had some rough luck in the NIS since I've started covering it, at least.
He's got a chance here. He's got a chance.
I should probably stop talking about him, because every time I mention him, something goes terrible. So, Vince, if you wreck, it ain't my fault this time.
It'd be my fault because I really want to see the Quinn Half scheme up in flames.
Look, I want to see an underdog, man.
I agree with that. I'd be fine with that. But I don't know if Quinn Half is the underdog I want to see.
Oh, based on underdogs, we got Quinn Half or we got Jose Acosta
Well, that's fair.
in the immediate
Pick
vicinity.
the voice. And I like Vincent, so I'm going to go with Vincent.
Yeah, Vince is a good guy. Always talking about something on social media.
Just runs bad paint schemes.
Just bad taste in paint schemes.
Well, they look good. I got to, cut the BS. They look good.
Oh yeah,
It's just who
it does a
they're-
great job of making you think it's a shampoo bottle on wheels. It's exactly what the bottle looks like, brother. Look, there's the bottle, there's the car.
I mean, like, the paint looks good. I got to be honest. I like it.
He does a good job making it. He does a good job making it fit, though. Looks
It's
pretty
a house
solid.
sponsor. It's a house sponsor.
Yeah, I
Conklin,
stopped,
you're
I
right.
stopped
Definitely.
using.
The underdog of Garrett Maines to win this one for sure, Sean.
That is an absolute underdog.
Yeah, I've
Man,
never seen Garrett Maines win a
That
race on
winless
iRacing.
streak, man. Like, how long is it? He lost the B Open Monday night because he got wrecked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Still
one
one
heck of a
race.
winless streak. Yeah, one race winless streak. You know he's hungry.
And he did win the last super speedway we were at. Now, he threw a couple bad blocks in that one, so do we see something similar? Does he take himself out on the green-white checkered?
I don't know, man. For excitement's sake, we're going to have to start asking Ken to nerf his car or something.
I don't know. I'm kind of with you though. I like seeing the underdog victories. You know, Vincent would be a cool story. Hell, heck, Brad Wright. We haven't talked to Brad Wright before. Brad Wright would be a cool story. Shut up, Darby.
I hope we don't have to talk to him.
Coming to 2 laps to go for the green-white checker. Garrett Maines, Brad Wright, Vincent Crowe, Nicholas Roman up in the top 2 rows. Will this be the only green-white checkered? We're about to find out. Garrett Maines back to the gas, side by side with Brad Wright in the restart zone.
That is the best launch the outside line has gotten all race, and I'm really excited to see how this is going to shape things up into turn 2. Right, all on Garrett Maines' door.
Oh,
are they making contact, man? Because they are so close. Oh, Crowe's got the run. I mean, Wright's got the run. Roman with a huge push to the back of Wright as they come down to turn 3. And he's going to clear Garrett Maines down to turn 3.
Wright's going to take it to the bottom and take it to the white flag. Can he throw the blocks necessary to win this thing? Brad Wright coming down to the white. 1 lap to go. Vincent Crowe down to the middle, 3 wide into turn number 1. Vincent Crowe looking for it all on the last lap. Vincent with a huge shove to Brad Wright in the bottom, and Brad throws a block on Roman up top. Roman into the fence, but he got a good push from Holzer. Roman's going to take the momentum all the way to the race lead through 3 and 4, with James Holzer pushing him through. Garrett Maines way down to the bottom, making it 3 wide, but it's going to be too little, too late. It's Holzer. It's Roman coming down to the line. Roman blocks the bottom. Tight to it. It's Roman at the line to win the Ryco Performance Friday night NiS Top Split.
Said we wanted underdogs winning it, man, but Roman had a different plan.
That was definitely not an underdog winner, but...
No, brother. We got to back this replay up even further, because Roman came through some cars to get up there to that lead.
Oh,
I like seeing those last 2 laps.
Brad Wright's block was just too late. Just too late on the back straightaway. He got a little push forward, but it really just put Roman into the fence, slowed him down a little bit, and then Holzer hit the back bumper just as Roman slowed down, and it gave him the push that he needed down the back to get past Brad Wright and clear both cars. Both cars from the outside line getting clear coming down to turn 2. Holzer could not find the move out of 4, and it's going to be Nicholas Roman to bring home the checkered flag here tonight in the Friday night NiS Top Split.
Oh, no, Joseph, no.
Okay, well, a lot of style points here tonight, but as they celebrate their win here, we're going to take a final abbreviated commercial break, and then we're going to come back for interviews with the top 3. Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Friday night NiS Top Split. Nicholas Roman is your race winner here from Atlanta. James Holzer in second with a good rebound from being a lap down. Jacob Schneider rounds out the podium. I don't know how, because I feel like Schneider was involved in like 50 incidents. Joseph Squared in fourth, Brandon Evans fifth, Brad Wright, Garrett Maines, Nicholas Patovich, Vincent Crowe, and Matt Hollabaugh round out the top 10.
In 11th place, we got Jose Acosta, followed by Brad Newman. Roger Pierce is in 13th, followed by Miller Bonds in 14th. Indy Casey is in 15th, followed by Pedro Palladino in 16th. 17th is going to be Nick Olson with Maggie McGuire in 18th. 19th is going to be Yuma Yao. And James Houghton's going to round the top 20.
21st is Justin Malello. 22nd, Chad Gunningsman. 23rd, Matt Cox. Tanner Love in 24th. Ryan Naraki in 25th. Lucas Mello, Kagan Fleckenstein in 27th. Joseph Tucker, White Gray, and Tommy Gossett round out the top 30.
31st, we're going to have Marcelo Quezada, followed by AJ Stevens at 32nd. 33rd is going to be John Whitendorf, Jordan Booth in 34th. 35th is going to be Junson Lim, and running out the field, and 36th is going to be Sean Anderson.
Well, Sheldon, it looks like we've only got 2 of the top 3 waiting to give us an interview. So how about you interview our 3rd place finisher of Jacob Schneider, who's standing by in the booth right now?
Man, Jacob, how did you keep the thing alive there at the end, man? You went through absolute hell that entire race. How'd you get yourself back up there to the front?
I really don't know. I won the incident count. I had the most in the field. I think I was in probably 7 or 8 wrecks. And just kept fixing the damage. Luckily, you know, usually I complain that the damage model's broken, but it definitely happened in my favor tonight. And then I just kept restarting the top line, and the top line kept rolling. I just avoided the last 2 wrecks. I guess that's all you got to do.
So very Tony Stewart-like in the fact that the one thing you were missing was one more wreck tonight.
Yeah, I definitely hit everything but the pace car.
And the lottery too. But
oh yeah. Well, yeah. I feel like I hit somewhat of a lottery to still get a 3rd out of this.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely impressive, man. And one heck of a job getting yourself back through the field, because I know exactly how hard it is to carve through the cars. If you didn't get caught up in all that, how did you feel of your shots for winning this thing tonight?
I mean, I don't know. There's 7 Ryco cars up there, so a 1 in 7 chance. We're all just so equal here, and everybody knows how to race this kind of track. You know, it's not that complicated. It's just who makes the last move.
Yeah, I get that,
I
man.
rode in the front there for a while. Once I lost track position, I was like in every single wreck, so I never could make it back up.
Yeah, there's nothing more fun than playing Minesweeper here at Atlanta. How you feeling looking towards Watkins Glen next week?
I don't know. I've put in some laps. I'm not as good as some of my teammates, but I'm better than others. So just kind of mid.
Man, looking forward to seeing you out there. Anybody you want to thank for this week?
Yeah, I got to thank Joseph for pushing me there at the end. If I'd have gotten in any trouble, I would have been DQ'd. So, got to thank him for helping me stay clean there at the end.
Oh, man, good to hear. You have yourself a good night, man.
All right, appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
All right, that was your 3rd place finisher, Jacob Schneider. Next up, we're going to pull up the race winner, Nicholas Vroman, finding himself at the top step of the podium once again. Nick, how's it feel, man? Especially a place like Atlanta where it's a bit of a random ball of chaos, but you happen to find your way at the top whenever it mattered most.
You know, it was a fun race. I hope it was fun to broadcast. Whenever I got boring there out front, you know, leading, I was like, fuck this. I'm gonna go down low and bring the bottom lane up here and have some more fun. You know, but yeah, it was a fun overall race. And just, you know, luckily, well, actually not luckily, Roger Pierce, I thought that guy was a teammate, but you know, he screwed me 2 times in 3 races this week, so I don't know anymore. But you know, he put us in a little bit of a pickle there, spinning us out of 2. So that was crazy to come back to the front and just got lucky at the end.
You never know it, especially at a place like this. That might have been a little bit of a butterfly effect thing, right? You may not have won this race if Roger didn't turn you out of turn 2. So you may need to be thanking him.
Nah, let's not have any more butterfly effects like that. I think we'll be fine.
Oh man. Well, either way, Nick, you seem to put yourself on the podium pretty frequently, and even whenever we go to a place where it's just chaotic randomness, you're still up here, up at the top. So, you know, what does that speak about, your performance and Ryco as a whole, man? Y'all were dominant tonight.
Yeah, Ken obviously did a good job on the set. I didn't help him this week. I told him I ain't doing it. Heck him. Nah, but yeah, Ken puts a lot of work in these sets, man. So we always come out with these rocket ships. As far as like super speedway type racing, I feel like I'm pretty good at it. I feel like I'm pretty decent at it. I just have fun with it, honestly, and I guess it's all luck.
Well, Nick, congratulations on the win here tonight. Do you have anybody else to thank at the end of this one?
Yeah, shout out to everybody on track, man. It was, like I said, it was fun dicing it up there, towards the front. Luckily we didn't kill the field. I mean, there's a few wrecks, but I don't think it was because of the craziness up at the front. So, you know, shout out to those guys up there, you know, dicing it up and having fun. You know, shout out to James Holster, man. He definitely won me that race. We got a history from NASCAR Heat, so, you know, shout out to him. It was cool. I was watching my mirror that whole time coming to 3 and 4, waiting for the move, waiting for it, and then just, I guess, you know, he said he was good finishing P2 or making the move late. So, and shout out to you guys for broadcasting.
We appreciate it, Nick. Shout out to you for winning tonight and putting on a good show. Like you were saying, kind of ducking down to the inside, making it a little bit more fun. It was definitely fun on the broadcast all night long. So big thank you to that, and thank you to the entire field as well, because that was one of the better races we've broadcasted for sure. So congratulations, Nick, on winning it.
Thank you.
All right, that was your race winner, Nicholas, Roman, and Sheldon. Would you agree with me? I mean, I feel like that race was pretty daggum good.
That was awesome. Side by side, you know, 3 wide door-to-door action from the drop of the rack to the finish. Not really much of a chance for us to catch our breath. Sick stuff, man. As much as I hate the fact that they demolished a perfectly great track to make this, it has put on some good performances. I just still wish they'd have done it to Texas instead.
It is a little bit bittersweet. Yeah, they definitely should have done it to Texas instead. But it's definitely a little bittersweet. But we're going to get a look ahead of what we're going to be seeing next week on GridVision. Monday night for the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The A-Open is going to be back next week as we're into week 1 on iRacing. And I love Watkins Glen. That's going to be absolutely fantastic. Cannot wait for that one. Can't wait for the whole week ahead. Thursday night, Kansas Speedway for the high slide. Thursday night, Truck Series, 8:20 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to tune into that. Kansas always put on a good show. And then we'll be right back here on Friday night for the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split again. That's going to be the NiS on Friday night from the Watkins Glen International. That's going to do it here from us at GridVision and from the entire GridVision team. We'd like to thank you for watching and participating in the chat. For more information on getting your league broadcasted or starting your career in broadcasting, contact us on Facebook, X, or email us at info@gridvision.live. Congratulations to Nicholas Roman on winning tonight's race from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. This has been Austin Edstrom standing alongside Sheldon Atkins and Austin Derbyshire. We will see you next time on the Grid.